Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great day to be a ZZZ fanboy, fangirl, whatever you want to call it, but I'm very excited for the stuff that has just come out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Dev Talk overview just came out for Season 2. That's what they're calling it, is Season 2 of Zenless Zone Zero. And to me, I'm very, very excited for this because I feel as though that they're prepping it to be amazing comparatively to other 2.0 updates, or at least that's how it feels while I was watching the video. Now, of course, I do have some of my own concerns when it comes to Hoyoverse products, especially lately with how HSR and Genshin Impact have been as of recent. I will go over those a little bit later, but I do want to talk about some of the stuff that they did announce and kind of allude to. We'll be going over this and then a Twitter post as well that kind of sums up everything. I didn't write my own notes, unfortunately. But I watched the video and I was very excited for it. I was popping off on Twitter. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that's announced here. We got Yijuan, or Yijuan, however you want to say it. I gotta look up the pronunciation before, you know, everybody kills me and says, actually, you're disrespecting the character, you know. But yeah, she looks really, really cool. Kind of reminds me of Ning Wang a little bit, especially with the area that we're going to. So it's kind of funny in that regard. But a lot of people have also compared her to Anby and Soldier 11. I see the resemblance, but I don't think it's the same thing. We're getting a new area called Wi-Fi Peninsula, which looks really, really cool. A lot more seamless flow to how we go around the city as well. So very excited for that. We're going to get a Season 2 trailer during the Xbox showcase, which pretty cool. I dig that. Now, well, that's going to be a part of a whole big thing. I think, honestly, and this is just my take on what I think is going to happen with that whole thing. And I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's pretty in your face about it. It's going to go over the next update, and then it's going to go over the Xbox stuff, and then it's going to go over the Xbox stuff first, then the update, and then it's going to talk about the trailer for Season 2. But yeah, that's just my take on that. Revamped entire map experience, so that's what I was talking about, the new seamless flowing of the maps. Gonna be more Genshin / GTA style, where everything kind of loads in very nicely. You'll have areas where it's not so crowded with enemies, and then you'll go into the enemy areas. If I remember correctly, during the stream they said that the enemies were going to pop into the city as well, so it's not just going to be like, oh, city, and then you have to go out to fight enemies. It will be very seamless in that regard. New daily system will match the new area, so instead of doing like the little things that we're doing right now with the daily system, it's going to match more of what's going on. I think it's going to tie into like the village itself and doing errands around the village. So pretty cool. New management simulation, Bangbu Dispatch, which is going to be exactly like, I believe, the Genshin Impact dispatching and Honkai Star Rail. Exactly like those. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing so long as we get those materials for leveling up. Genshin and HSR have a lot more of a selection when it comes to materials. Now, Genshin has a lot more useless, well, not really useless, but a lot less useful items on that, while HSR does have some less useful items, but it still works, I guess. With how limited the materials you need are to rank up, I guess. You know, maybe they'll tie in some of that and it'll actually be a good system, you know. Not saying that I am saying that the other ones are bad comparatively to what hopefully Bangbu Dispatch is going to be like. Optimize the pathways in the new area. Same thing that we were talking about with the seamlessness. No longer have to return to the video store to access the HDD. So instead of going to the store and then clicking on the computer and stuff after you accepted a mission, you will literally accept the mission, explore and fight, complete the mission. So it's taking out one of those steps, which is nice. It makes it a lot faster to get stuff done. And I think that's ultimately what ZZZ's thing is like, we're not here to waste your time. We'll find ways to make it so you're not dealing or not on as much, right? Now, of course, we also have the travel system redesigned as well. They didn't go into explicit detail about how it's going to work, but it's going to change from the side scrolling area. Minimap and navigation will be added as well, which is cool. So you'll actually kind of be able to look around and see where you're going. Special episodes and faith in stories will be merged, which is one of the big takes that I have. Well, not really big hot take, but I think it's a pretty dang good take. I think this makes the story even better. And the reason being is that they even alluded to this as we were watching, that the special episodes didn't really carry over to the main story too well. It didn't tie in very well. It felt more like, I guess the best way to put it is like OVAs. They happen, but they don't type stuff. So these will actually tie them into the main story and make them more fluid to the story. And that's what I'm getting mainly from this update is fluidity, which makes sense because of the design of the map and where we're going. Fluid like water, it makes a lot of sense. Enhances the functionality and performance of non-DPS characters. So this was a big thing, and I guess maybe for me, I don't understand it too well because I do use all 3 characters as much as possible. Yes, the main DPS is always out in the front, but a lot of the times, like, I do switch between the 3. But this isn't a bad change at all. So what's going to happen is, like, when you switch to another character, it's like switching to your DPS, your support characters are going to stay on the field a little bit longer. Kind of like how Trigger does when it comes to, like, shooting off the sniper rifle. But it's not going to be just part of her ability, I guess, if that makes sense. So when you switch, like, take Trigger, for example, because of how Trigger can go into the battlefield after activating a normal attack, right? And will shoot the enemy or activating a special. Instead of it being just when you do that, you're going to switch in and Trigger's going to stay on the field for a little bit, disappear, and then will reappear in essence for that normal and special attack, which makes a lot of sense and is really, really cool because, again, you get a lot more on field time with those characters. My only gripe might be is that if they're on the field, are they going to take damage while they're in that, or do they have invincibility frames or iframes? If that's the case, if they do have iframes, I have no problem with it. If they don't, you know, I'm going to be, or if they get hit while they're out there, I'm going to be kind of a little annoyed about it. So that's just me personally, right? Add a new attack and defense mechanics for enemies to make it so that your actual supports, you're going to need them for the time being. So, like, I'm guessing it's going to be certain types of shields might come into play, which will make the combat a little bit more difficult. And I'm okay with that because I feel like ZZZ and Wuwa are the 2 games that I really want to get better at when it comes to combat. I feel like I clear pretty well on most stuff, but to get to that upper echelon of players, like, I need to keep on playing and do better. And it's actually fun to get better at these 2 games. So that's just my take on that. And people will probably flame me and be like, oh, you want to get good at a gacha game? Freaking nerd. You suck. It's gacha. I don't care. Continue improving existing game modes, which includes new gameplay for duels between Bang Boo, Control Giant Bang Boo, and Combat. They talked about even our favorite game mode, where it's basically Fall Guys, but Bang Boos. And I love that. I love it, love it, love it. And the reason why is because I think that the mini games that they have is kind of like how Nikke does it. And in essence, like, those mini games keep you refreshed when it comes to the overall gameplay. I'll give you an example. A lot of people get annoyed with Genshin Impact's events. Why is that? Because normally a lot of the events are either very boring, like puzzle events, like, oh hey, you can move the shape into the thing, like put the circle in the circle hole, put the square in the square hole type thing. With HSR, it has a lot of obscure events, but they're very long form and a lot of yapping, in my opinion. With ZZZ's events, I feel like they have that good combination of not too much yapping and stuff that is actually more modern that people enjoy, like the Fall Guys stuff. A lot of people do enjoy Fall Guys, so it makes a lot of sense. I feel like their, like, mini games that they do just is a fun contrast to ZZZ's games, and that's why a lot of people like it. And I love the fact that they have the Fall Guys, they got a good tower defense one, they got plenty of things to work with, and I cannot wait to see what they do with it. So a lot of good stuff coming from this, but let's go ahead and go over this little Twitter post. Finite Gotcha deeply appreciate you posting this. So if you're watching this video somehow, hope you don't mind me using this TLDR that you got from Reddit. So, but we're gonna kind of go over this really quick. New map area, Wi-Fi Peninsula, close to the Lemnian Hollow. New characters like Yi Zhuan, current leader of the Yunkoi Summit, and we'll see factions like Opal Squad and the Idol Squad, Angels of Delusion. So you heard it, the Angels of Delusions were seen in this, and they will be a part of the 2.0s. So Hugo and Vivian are going to be the last two characters before we go into season 2. And I'm pretty sure, in my personal opinion, we'll probably see, I don't know if we'll see Yi Zhuan right away as like one of the characters that releases, and I don't think we're going to go to the Angels of Delusion yet. I think there might be another character that we'll kind of see as we go along. Map improvements, including reducing loading times for maps and making the new map larger and more alive. I just got home from work. Travel system redesigned from the sliding list of map like format. I don't know why it keeps popping up like that. It's pretty great. Added a mini map for navigational features. New daily system will match the culture and customs of Wi-Fi Peninsula. New features like the Bangbu dispatch, integrating residential areas with exploration areas, and management simulation in the Suibian temple. Then, of course, we got special episodes, character stories, and main story will be more merged in the future. Main story will be updated each version. Combat improvements to address DPS agents occupying most field time. Non-DPS agents switched out can still remain on the field and contribute to combat. Alongside that, some new combat ideas are new attack and defense mechanisms for enemies, special environments that enhance enemies, breaking enemy combo chains, using teamwork of characters in the squad, etc. More details will come from the 2.0 special livestream. And then, of course, older characters might get skill improvements or reworks as needed, and we've kind of seen that in regards to like the most recent ones like Astra Yao, Evelyn, Jane Doe, and I think it's going to pertain more to like how we talked about with the HSR characters getting more improvements, but they're going to go more skill based to where I think that the characters will gain more skills as time goes on, right? Current event modes, Grand Marshal or whatever, Bangbu versus Ethereal will be improved in various ways to be more fun. Upcoming events could be duels between Bangbus, controlling a giant mecha Bangbu. More slow-paced casual time with agents in various new areas. Okay, sorry. I just got home. Season 2 teaser trailer is coming April 13th, which will have more details of the story and functions, and ZZZ coming to Xbox soon. We already kind of knew that. So, overall, what we're getting, don't mind that. Yeah, don't mind that. Overall, we're getting some really good stuff in regards to ZZZ's 2.0, and I'm very excited for this because again, when it came to the Hoyoverse game, ZZZ was going to be the game that I put at the lowest right from the get-go after closed beta test 2. I didn't have a lot of hope for it, and it's very surprising to, in my opinion. And a lot of people might argue this, and I've had a couple detractors already reach out to me and say, don't fall for ZZZ's BS. And this comes with my concerns. ZZZ, in my opinion, went from 0 to hero. We all had our gripes about ZZZ in the beginning. I know that a lot of stuff got improved from closed beta test 2, but still people had their doubts. And as time went on, ZZZ has progressively became one of my favorite games in regards to the gacha space. Now, with Hoyoverse's track record as of recently, when it comes to my feelings of Genshin Impact and my feelings of HSR, it's obviously a shadow in the foreground, knowing that ZZZ could turn that route. However, from what it seems like, I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future. In the foreseeable future, it depends on some of these things. Like, one of the things that I am worried about from this is older characters might get skill improvements. I want to know how that pertains and how that's going to work. If we're changing kits altogether, which I hope is not the case, or we're just boosting them properly. I know that it's not going to be just a singular boost and that's it. It's not like 50% more damage. It's going to be like the skill gets reworked in some way, shape, or form, but it's got to be a healthy balance to where you get more bang for your buck for the character, or it stays about the same when it comes to versatility slash usability. Maybe that's not something that is good if it's going to stay around the same, because you want to get a boost, but it's kind of a hard, tricky line, you know, without it becoming illegal, I guess, in essence. Because the way I see it is that if a character is good, and the character like becomes stale over time, if you rework them, they have to be a lot better, because of the fact that you're saying we're going to rework them and it's a limited character and you could still summon for this character, right? So that's at least my take on it. I hope that makes sense. So it's kind of scary with that. And then when it ties into that with HSR's, you know, whole global passive thing, that's the scariest part of all, is that could ZZZ experience something like this? Hopefully not, because they seem to be listening to their player base a lot. And people could say, oh, well, HSR did it, Genshin did it. Genshin never really did it, to be quite honest. Like, it was maybe like once or twice they would do that, and they'd be like, oh, here's something cool. And you'd be like, oh, I didn't know we needed that, but cool. And then HSR did it for a little bit, true. But I don't know. I think HSR got a little too big for its britches. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. My overall take about this, ZZZ is amazing. I'm enjoying the game still. I'm not going to be quitting anytime soon. So hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it becomes one of the top 2 best gacha games in the world of all time. Not, in my opinion, was the best right now, but that's just me. Anyways, enough of my rambling, enough of all that. Let me know in the comments down below what you're most excited for when it comes to the ZZZ special update for 2.0 or season 2. Let me know what you're excited for when it comes to the live stream. As always, thank you so much. Hopefully you guys keep tuning in. I know that with the one-shot recording videos, it's not always everyone's favorite. I feel like it's my style. I like it. I think that some people do. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video. Please take care. Be safe.